Okay, so just want to make a little video to help you guys out because I really didn't see anything online about these. A lot of videos online. There was a couple videos for the driver's side sensor, but not the passenger side. I decided to change these because I was getting those System 2 lean codes, P0171 and 174. I was mainly getting 174 because that's the passenger side bank 2. The 171 is the driver's side. But the thing is, this car runs perfectly fine. I wasn't getting any stalling issues when I hit the gas really hard, or any rough idle, or no gas mileage, worse or anything like that, decrease or anything. It runs perfectly fine. But I'm still getting those codes. And the thing is, they come on kind of intermittently. Like one day I'll go with no codes, and then the next day I'll have a bank 2 code, 174, and then the next day I'll have both codes for both banks. But that's the only codes I'm getting, nothing else. So when you get one code, there are certain things, and when you get both codes, there's something else too. So the things you get when you get both codes, usually it's the mass airflow sensor, or a vacuum leak, or weak fuel injectors, stuff like that. Weak fuel pump, whatever. But my car drives perfectly fine. If it was a fuel problem issue, it wouldn't be, it'd be stalling out on the highway or something. It doesn't do that. It drives perfectly fine. Again, the idle is perfectly smooth, like it's brand new. The car only has 125,000 miles on it, so I mean, it's kind of a baby still for Toyota talk, But anyway, I'm still getting those codes, and I hate having lights on, so I got to do something to get these lights off. I checked all my vacuum leaks, and the only one I did see was a crack in the PCV valve hose. I replaced the valve, and I got a new hose and fixed that because I could put my finger on the hole and it was going, I fixed that leak, but that didn't make anything go away. Then I did a smoke test on it, and no leaks. Nothing came out of anywhere, so it wasn't that. So obviously there's no vacuum leaks. Did a fuel pressure test. That came out good too. There was no problem with the fuel pressure. That was good. And then I just got, bored one day and pulled the spark plugs out. They were really worn out, so I just replaced those. These things are kind of pricey, by the way. Spark plugs for these cars, if you get the OEM ones, they're like 16, 17 bucks a piece, and you need 6 of them, so they're a little pricey. But I replaced those. I noticed they were loose. They were like, probably hand tightened. They weren't even that tight at all. I had to put any pressure to break them loose. So they came right out. And they were really dirty. So I replaced those. The car seemed to be fine for like a day or so, and then the lights came back on again. So I knew that wasn't the issue anyway. Spark plugs don't really cause a System 2 lean code. If you got bad spark plugs, that'll be like a misfire or something like that. So they need to be changed anyway. I'm pretty sure they haven't been changed since the car was made, because I bought this from an old guy. He just took care of it and didn't really have any problems out of it, so he didn't do any maintenance to it, obviously. He was the original owner. But still getting these lean codes. So the only thing it can be, I'm thinking it's just the computer is getting a wrong reading from these O2 sensors. That's the only thing I can think of, since nothing else is wrong. So I'm going to change them out. And I mean, they're only designed to last for like 100,000 miles anyway, and this car has 125, like I said, so it's time to go ahead and do them regardless. What you want to do first is you have this little fuse box in the way here. You have 2 nuts on it. Well, 1 bolt and 1 nut. I took one out already because I already did this earlier. And there's one here. So take that out. And then just move it up. Set it up out of your way. You can use the strut nut right there and put it against that to keep it out of your way, so you can have room to get back in here. Then you want to go in there with your little socket. You got to have the shorty spark plug, not spark plug, my bad, excuse me. The shorty oxygen sensor socket. This one. I think I bought this at O'Reilly. That's what I want to say. It says performance tool on it. It's not even focusing at all, but I want to say I got it from O'Reilly, a little short one, probably about an inch tall. And What you want to do with that is just get it in there, slide it over the wire, and get it in there and lock it into place. It's that simple. Take your socket, turn it off. You know, you're not gonna get a full spin out of it, so you got to just go. You know, you're gonna got to go in little. Work it back and forth until you break it loose. Once you break it loose, if your car's not super rusty, you should be able to just turn the rest of it by hand. That's what I did, because I mean, I live in Florida. My car wasn't rusty anyway. So once I broke it loose, I just turned the rest of it by hand. Now, the hard part, where you end up with a lot of scars and scratches and all that, is trying to unplug the wire harness. Let me see if I can get you a good shot in there. Probably not. Your wire harness is back here. I don't know if I can even get in there with this camera. There it is, kind of. You see it, the blue wire and the black wire right there? Yeah, probably the best view I can get. You just want to go in there and press the tab and then pull it out. That's probably the hardest part of changing this sensor out. So once you get that loose, unplug it first, of course, so you can spin it around, and then take your socket on there and, you know, go to town. Get the new one back in. Don't forget a little bit of anti-seize on there and all that, so it'll be easier to change in the future. Once you get that ball put in, plug it back into the you know, the other harness. Put all this back together, and that's done. If you need to remove your brake vacuum line, that'll help too. Get that out of the way. Give you a little more space. I didn't really have to remove mine, but just a heads up. Now, here's the fun side. You got to remove your battery, of course. I don't know if your battery has the battery hold down thing on it. Mine didn't have that. I don't even use those things anyway, because I mean, the battery is heavy. It's not really going anywhere. That just makes it easier to remove if the battery ever dies. I keep mine off. So, remove your battery metal clamp hold down thing first. And then take your battery cables off, and then take your battery out, set it to the side. Then you're down here where your little computer tray is and all that, which is this thing here. And you have 4 bolts on that at first. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Take that out. Those are loose. Then you got your little wire harness, 1 big one on this side and 2 on this side. One just push down, pull off, that one. The other 2 are those slide-on locking clamp things, like this. Now, there's some little black tab that was in here holding it on, and you couldn't press down on it, so I snapped it off. I snapped it off and, you know, kept going, because these things, these white tabs, these white little, whatever you call them, holder things, they lock on to the, you know, the computer anyway. So that's all you need. So break the little tab off. Basically just press down on it hard like that and break it off. And once that's loose, then it slides forward like this, because it's on the car like this, locked on. That little black tab right there, just break it off like that. And then get this forward this way, pull that right off. Same with the other one. There's one on this one too. Little black tab right there, just, you know, it's on the car like this. Just break the little tab, pull it forward, pull that out. And the other one, just a regular normal, you know, wire harness. Press down, push forward, and then pull it back off. Then you're done with those. Then you can get full range to your oxygen sensor on the bank 1 side. And the same process, you put your socket on there and your ratchet, take it off. Once you break it loose, it should, you know, just be able to spin it by hand. That's how mine are. Mine are coming off pretty easily. If you need to set a little, spray a little PB blaster on there, that'll make it a little easier. You know, let it sit for 30 minutes and it should come right off easier then for you guys up in the Rust Belt states. But if you need a little more room, you can remove your big fuse box here too. You have 110 here and 110 here. Take those off, lift it up, and then that's out of your way. So that way you can get into your sensor better, see? You have more room to come this way. Because I had to break it loose with a pipe. I put the ratchet on there and then slid it through here. And then I took a long pipe. And broke it loose. Because like I said, once you break it loose, that's it. It's pretty much comes off the rest of the way. Oh yeah, and don't forget, when you come over here and start this, before you start the passenger side, before you do the passenger side, come and undo your air intake hose. You know, you got a 10 this way. You got a 10 here, and then your little hose that goes onto here for your valve cover venting. I took mine off and put an open filter on it, so it'll be easier to remove mine. I just capped it off. They have a little pack of caps you can buy for your oil breather. Pack of caps you can buy from any part store, O'Reilly, AutoZone, whatever. But do that first, your air hose first, and then go in the back and start doing everything else. So that's it. And once you get done with all that, you know, put it back together the same way you took it apart. Don't forget, when you put these sensors on, you don't want to do this twice. Plug them up first. Make sure you plug them up first. Don't forget to plug these things up, because you will not have a good time if you don't plug these things up, because you got to take it all apart again to get back in there. And then, if I can find which way it goes, that's not the right way. There we go. Snap. Bam, back in there. Good to go. Slide your little cover over it and tuck it out of the way. And that's done. Make sure it's tight and snug when you tighten it back in there. Then you come back and put your tray first. Or is that the right way? Probably not. That's the right way. Yeah, there we go. Tray first. Take your computer. Sit that back in there. Bam. Then put your, I'd plug the wires up first. And just snap them back on like I was saying before. Snap them back on. Yeah, it's a good idea to leave this tray loose before you, so you can get access to your wires. Make sure they're all plugged up before you tighten it back down, screw it back down. And then, well, no, you want to put them down first and then slide them on. Why is it not cooperating? I don't know. There we go. Let's try this again. So slide it on with the thing lifted up first, straight up first. Slide it on and then go back. And then it locks. You see it move on, it slides on there. And that's locked on there. It's not coming off. Same with the other side. But this is just a regular one. Snaps back into place. All of them are tight. Then put your screws back in there and you're good to go. And that's easy. So I'm going to put it all back together and then I'll scan the codes again and see if that clears up my issue. Drive it around a little while, you know, blah, blah, blah. See if the codes go away, and then I'll finish the video after that. So stick around.